estate recovery, my general understanding of that is basically that certain assets, if you receive Medicaid and they paid for your long-term care and you pass away, certain assets Medicaid's going to go after you pass away, and they want to recoup those. Other assets they don't, and so you hear this concept of estate recovery planning, and how is that different than Medicaid planning generally? But then also, I'd like you to explain how they fit together and why you really shouldn't ignore one.
Yeah, it's all part of the same process, really. We try to take a holistic approach when we are consulting with our clients, and we're saying, listen, we can't always eliminate Medicaid estate recovery. Oftentimes we can. We can't always eliminate it 100%, but we are able to reduce it by typically by 80 to 90%. We can remove what Medicaid will ever be able to touch if we are planning properly. So for example, there's some tools, like I keep mentioning this pooled special needs trust. There are some Medicaid planning attorneys who rely on that as their sole strategy. It works. You can take any amount of money and put it into a pooled special needs trust, and now it's not counted as a gift, and it's not counted for eligibility purposes. But because it has that estate recovery problem, I call that lazy Medicaid planning, because you're now putting all these assets there, and Medicaid's gonna be able to go after all of it after the recipient passes away. So it has its place, and we use it very frequently, but we're never using it as a standalone option. It's not the only thing that we're doing, right? We want some money set aside so that the client can remain liquid and has all these advantages, right? The money can only be used for my client's benefit. That's wonderful. So it doesn't matter what happens to other people. But we have other tools where we can get money without it being considered a gift into other people's names. We have certain investments that we can make that may make them illiquid, but the investment is structured in such a way that Medicaid will never be able to touch it after my client passes away. So that's really what a Medicaid planning consultation is. As I'm telling people, we have lots of really neat options available, but none of them are the magic wand effect, right? They all have pros and cons, and that's what we're talking about during the consultation. But here are the options. That I haven't built this worksheet, so lets me think about what options in my mind make the most sense. I go, here's what we have to work with. And now let's come up with a combination of strategies that's going to provide my client with the most benefit while they're alive, and to make it more likely that their heirs will have something to inherit after my client passes away.